Well, here we are back at episode 7 of our Pillars of Eternity playthrough. I must say that this game has really taken me by storm. Is that what it said? You say in English? I love it. Been playing it here. This is episode 7 as mentioned, and that's for only during a few days. So progress is pretty far. Well, we checked out about half the city last time. The tree and the crypt down here we investigated in episode 5. And we ended episode 5 outside the inn down here where we met Aloth, the elven mage that's with us now. And then we actually spent most of last episode in here, in the inn, the Black Hound Inn, speaking to every guest and of course the innkeeper to find out what's going on around here. We were also up here in Ofra's house, discovered that this was Kalicia's sister. Of course, sad to hear that Kalicia had died on the way here, but we promised her to help going outside the city. What was that actually to do there? It's because she's pregnant, but what was it the point was? Oh, we had to speak to Mother Ranga, but I don't remember why. Oh yeah, to help, it's because this Mother Ranga can help secure that she will not have a hollow-born child. So that's the point of going there. But she couldn't go herself because you have to go through the wilderness, and of course in her estate, that's not an issue, not a possibility. So we will be doing that. But as I mentioned last time, we're going to finish the entire city or town before we go there. And we still have all this part of the town to investigate, and of course the crypt down here. If we feel we're up to it now that I have a companion with me. I still haven't dived very much into the equipment, haven't changed out to see if or optimized it in any way. I'm going to spend a lot of time investigating that outside of episodes, so you don't have to see me read a lot of things about that, and I'll do that when I have my party assembled and I'm ready to take off from here. That will probably be a good time to do that. Well, I don't think I talked to these two the last time. I would suspect this is another of the two other guys of these soul things where I see their past or whatever. We'll find out, reach out for the soul. You see a group of people standing around a wagon transfixed on a sword as it swings in a large graceful arc. This man's holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with a relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it into the air, spins, then puts his arm behind his back to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly and a couple of them gasp, certain they were about to see a tragedy. Okay, so some kind of trick. Yeah. Well. And what does Hugo have to say? Reach out for the soul. You see a room, bright, warm, and covered in greenery. There isn't a spot in the entire space that doesn't have some kind of plant growing in it. Small germinating seeds in a corner here, large sprawling vines climbing the walls there. Although most of the plants are actually in some kind of container, there are a few that have grown from the dirt floor itself. These are just as lovingly cared for as anything else in the room. This man wanders through the plants, smiling at each and every one, an old pipe clenched between his teeth. Stopping next to one, he touches a leaf, lifting it up to look at the underside, then gently rubs it between his fingers. He takes a small handful of the soil it grows in and crushes it with his fingers. Satisfied, he drops the soil back into the pot and continues to the next plant. He hums a low, cheery tune as he moves along the plants, occasionally stopping to sing a few words of something to one of them. Finally, he reaches the door, having visited every plant in the room. He turns back to look at them, a look of serene pleasure on his face. Then he turns back and is gone. Mine. I really struggle to get innocence out of this. Well, what I failed to mention It's also that we of course are going to visit this dwarven lady hanging here, dead, but apparently lootable, or perhaps even also speakable, if you can say that. We will see about it. Can I look this one? Pilgrim's Crown. Let's go up here. These are just villages. Careful if you head east, guards patrol the eastern wood, but not the Black Meadow. So look out for the Black Meadow right here. Yes, thank you for that warning. Oh wow, I can go far this way. But nothing here. Then I can switch the maps. Something up here. Another house. I don't seem to be able to enter because I can't see the door, so I'm probably not meant to go in there. At least it's not like the old Baldur's Gate games 1 and 2, where the door could also be on the other side, but you could still enter. Then you needed to scroll around here to find the door because you couldn't turn the camera on that one either. The villager, decent folks. Yeah, we know that one. Can I speak with the cows? Probably not. Nope. And another villager. You also say the same thing. So these cornfields again. There's plenty of those. Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust's husk. Thank you. What's that? Oh, Black Hammer's smithy, an Ingrid's house, and a windmill. I need to investigate those places for sure. This house here is that one I could not enter. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Still head down here. All right. Oh, I feel like maybe I should just go and talk to that dwarf now. Have I spoken to those already? Yeah. They all say the same. Well, here's the smithy. Black Hammer Smithery. I think I'll go in there just to make sure that there's nothing over here I missed. I'm not sure I'm going to trade at this point because I have too little of a clue as to what to buy and what to sell. I think that's difficult for me to wrap my head around. See, this is also, I think this means stealing, so I'm not gonna. How about that one also? Hear those bells? Guess it's bad news. Yep. That shifty little Orlan better watch himself. And another smith here. An apprentice. Don't tell Tuatano, but I think Dunstan over in well, I didn't catch that entirely. This one doesn't seem to be stealing. The book. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. 1. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abidan rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Sure enough. 2. Work hard, work well. Abidan demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions are pure. 3. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft, excel at what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. 4. Each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so multiply the fruits of your knowledge. 5. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. 6. Embrace your station, fulfill the duties of your rank, and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest link. 7. All laws can be reforced into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to force wealth anew. 8. Value the works of others, and they will value your works in return. Share the harvest with the hungry, and your tools with the destitute. 9. All souls can be reforged into whatever they will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Commit yourself to excellence in this cycle and the next. So some rules as to how to work in life in general. Or as a smithy, perhaps. All this will be stealing. Well, I checked the book, so I have it. The bellows sigh into the furnace, and the coals brighten still. Excellent. Then we have a few more here. Harlan Orenson. Reach out for the soul. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone, a series of untamed shrubs, all that hides him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a diligent, beautiful and terrible, eyes half lidded as he hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The diligent half smiles become beckoning with twig-like fingers. I'm struggling to get any meaning out of this paragraph here. I don't really understand it. Maybe it's just my English that's not good enough. Well, she does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side, and begins to his fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she's gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant, but the words of a magical language of his own imagining scribbled in a maniacal shorthand ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. Okay, so this woman pretty much just dismantle this guy. I think back to my character creation in episode 1, as this one here talks about the guy has both a grimoire and an axe. I think, was it a chanter, the magician that actually had a huge axe, and I was quite confused about that, so perhaps this one is a chanter? Oh, I don't know. He doesn't look like it. Here he looks more like a rogue of some kind. What does Durgan's steel core have? You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking saurips. That's the one I fought in the dungeon. There was one of them with the spear. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. Well, I don't know how many they are, but one of them was not very deadly, so I think they should be easy to handle if you have an entire party to do it well. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the saurips that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the falling saurips suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attacks the remaining enemies. So when you defeat one of them, 3 new enemies come out of them. Grubs. What's a grub? Giant grub. Some kind of shell creature, perhaps? Well, the man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the saw rib. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. Alrighty then. Excellent. Well, here is the smithy, or the smith himself, Tuatano. This Ormar man is an impressive build, towering above the counterstep. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in a smeared suit and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome, you're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Well, should I start by asking a stupid question? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Tuatano glances at the guard standing watch along the wall, but the Black Hammer smithery remains. Thanks to the guard, I imagine. What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we find weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them, or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves. Maybe to make some coin? Tuatano snorts, as if that lot would dare. Okay, out east might be bandits. Wasn't it east I was gonna go to find this manga to help Kalisha's sister? Okay, my party member Alaf has a comment here. He's right about the bandits. The dire situations in villages like this, and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Tuatano scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for our supply wagon, or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. Yeah, so a little extra quest here to find his supply wagon. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace Lord Radric. Tuatano glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be, but it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Where was the wagon traveling from? We sent the wagon up to the new Heomar with weapons, and it swings round through Lockholm and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow, and then north through the wilds. Tuatano shakes his head. Had a trader come through with word they'd made it to Lockholm, but haven't heard a thing since. This Black Meadow, is that? Didn't I hear from a villager outside that this was not guarded? Okay, so I can... That's pretty much the same thing, 1 and 2, isn't it? I think number 2 is the politest way to put it, so I'll do that. I'll see them back safe and sound. I'd appreciate your trying anyhow. You'll bring back the supplies at least, and I'll have much more to offer you. A discount to start. And if you do find my workers, you give them a good smack upside the head for me. Yes, sir. So, another quest right there. Out east. Not where I'm going right now. So, can't I do trading here? An account of Tuatano's sales. The pages are nearly empty.
Well met, friend.
Good to see you again. Afraid we're still running low on goods, but you're welcome to look at what we have. Yes, I'd like to see your wares, please. Of course. You won't find finer anywhere else. Okay, so he has... Wow. He has good weapons and expensive weapons. Maybe I should just save up for that instead of spending my money on regular weapons because because I find so much of that by myself anyway. So it seems like this 941 copper I have is really not that much. So I'm not going to spend my money here. I'm probably going to sell a lot more stuff later on, but not right now. So this was all there was in here. But now we know where we can do some serious trading with our gear before we dive into the very dangerous places of this world. Okay, I'm still missing Ingrid's house up here.
Yes.
Let's go in there. Another book. The Direwood Part 2, The Broken Stone War. In 2626 AI, a group of farmers, while clearing farmland for planting, accidentally knocked down one of the ancient Adra menhirs on their land. This innocent act drew the ire of the native population and started what would come to be known as the Broken Stone War. When it was finally over, several thousand colonists had been killed, as well as hundreds of the Glenfarthans. Even though the war was technically over, the Glenfarthans escalated their attacks on the settlers over the next 2 years, using vicious tactics that left many colonists, several military figures, an earl, and 6 thanes dead. Unable to stop the Glenfarthan attacks, the earls elected Earl Edrang Hadred to the position of Griff. Well respected and known to be a master of military tactics, he was tasked with dealing with the Glenfarthans' threat. Edrang fought with the Glenfarthans, led by an alder named Recht, for the next 2 years. Neither side can gain the upper hand on the other, resulting in a tense stalemate between the two groups. Because of this stalemate, the hostilities slowly died off, and in 2631, the Direwooden people signed a treaty with the Glenfarthans. Recht would step down, the Glenfarthans would stop their attacks altogether, and the Direwooden people would leave the ruins alone. This treaty angered the nobility in Adir, as it brought to a halt the supply of artifacts. Edrang also tried to get the practice of slavery outlawed, but this was not successful. Because of this, the peace between the Direwood and Ir Glenfarth is uneasy and tumultuous. Turmoil. Small patches of rural violence still cropped up, but were easily dealt with as neither side wanted another war. Okay. So they found a way to coexist, even though they didn't like each other. This bottle of Sunred is half empty, but I cannot take it. Oh, Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Good day, stranger.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nansen? Nansen coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Valewood. I want him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? Oh, that's the guy that lost Perky to the bear. You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Nansen. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Nansen reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the three, I imagine, but the rut three, it's tree. Let's try again. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rut goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. Oh, that seems to pick up a lot of quest here. We're headed for the Defiance Bay. Ourselves, Montanats. I'm quite sad I don't get to say the other thing, that they look in a good mood despite having lost a friend. That was another option when I chose this one. You seem to be in a hurry, and now I don't have it. Perhaps that could have unlocked some kind of complot they are working on here. Well, at least I can loot this without being accused of stealing. So I'm a little sad I don't get that option.
Greetings.
Yeah. What if I speak
Good
with
day,
him?
stranger.
Oh, it's the same. Too bad. I might have missed an opportunity there. We will never know. Okay, so I still haven't been to the windmill up here. That could be an obvious spot now. There. Oh, something's happening here. Oops. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull, says Swainor. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from the inside of the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through the door, gets us shut between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainor. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Okay, so they accuse him of keeping food or something for himself up here. Is that the point? Let's just check the exterior before we enter that mill. Hope it's not too dangerous to go in there. He seemed kind of agitated. No surprise really, with 3 threatening people at your door. I would be agitated too. But let's see if we can get in there in peace. Oh, the door opened at least. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back, if you value your life. Oh, not enough resolve to handle that one. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town, right? Don't tell me Swainer has already got his claws into you. Gosh, that's all I need. My name is Malagant. I've just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. What was all that ruckus outside? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. Yeah, I figured that was what it was about. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of the thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale. And Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer is howling after things he has no right to. Yeah, makes a good point. Maybe I ought to have a talk with Swainer then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. Okay, another quest there. Where do I find him? He kind of suggested that he likes the ale down at the inn, so maybe he's there. Would be stealing to loot that chest. Can I speak to the others? Uftan. I'm sure Father can explain better just what happened here. Sierra. My father's a good man. He always done right by the town.
Greetings.
Trumbull nods a court greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? I have more questions about this whole situation. Trumbull breathed a short laugh. What's to explain? It isn't very complicated. I can't pay attention. Oh, yeah, I heard that one. I'm not going to accuse him of anything at this point, so no more questions.
How do you do?
Not yet. I'll be back. So there really isn't anything else to do in here. But I should probably go find this Swainer. But now I've pretty much explored all this town. So it might be time to speak to that, or investigate that dwarven lady by the tree in the center, and then find Swainer. Here I have been, that was Ingrid's house. Yeah, I had that one. Didn't I meet those two already? Actually, I think I didn't. Nope, I haven't been here. So that seems like more soul kind of things. Rodolphir Nicatore. See a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by. A small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Omawa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. Well, he does have a hat like the one in the description, so yeah, it might be their memories or foreshadowing of some kind. Doran Chamberlain. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the middle of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd has congregated around a platform, and they all watch transfixed as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled, hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one the cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as this crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There's a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straighten up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. So his father was executed? Oops, that's wrong. Yeah, I heard the bells. Anything up here? Doesn't seem like it. Except for more fields. Is that a ghost? Hello? Oh, that was a ghost of some kind. Okay. This is some kind of ghost house. I can actually enter this if I dare. No description to this house. Let's see what's in there. Oh, there is someone in here alive. Everything here would also be stealing. I have a feeling this will be another soul thing. Rats scurry behind the sacks. Is this some kind of storehouse? No, there's a bed. This is a regular house, this one. Let's see what Edlin Proston has to offer. Yes, another soul thing. You see a key turn gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs, and everything freezes. Footsteps. A tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves the woman, and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother, and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on their way out. So caught in the act, while the inhabitant came home in the middle of the break-in, so they shoved her down the stairs, and apparently, well, she died or got knocked out by that. So they could escape. And then we have Kira Iloth. What I've also noticed is that whenever there is these soul things, there's always two people. There's never just one. There are always two. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passers-by to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, chattering at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits the woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away toward one of the buildings. The woman stops and looks at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them, something derisive and hateful, something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her bag and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air toward them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and the buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. This woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms her eyes, softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. "Wizard scum," the man behind them says, and the two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. Okay, so this man, whoever he was, does not like wizards and attacked them with apples. And they don't really care. What's the point of that? Alrighty then. So that's what was in here. Did I check this out? Yeah, the rats. I checked that. And this would be stealing. I'm not gonna do that. So let's leave this house. Excellent. So now I think I've been all the way around. So I would like to move back in close with the tree there. See if I can find this dwarven woman they talk so much about. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm sure gonna try. They're still standing here. Very good. And a silver sword and an archer. It doesn't appear. Oh, here's something flashing. I didn't see that before. Maybe it just started. I don't know. Yeah, this just came now. This is actually quite spooky. So we've scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes, half erased by the rains. Yeah, I read that the last time I was here. Alright, let's see what this is. Can't I do anything with... Oh, there it is. Caldera di Baranzi. The squat, distant body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there's a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. It's like an aura or something? Well, I'm here to investigate this, so let's reach out for the woman. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you've expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness. in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman, and when you open them again, she's staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog. Her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. So actually she's come alive. Her eyes is opened, she's smiling and moving, so the rope is creaking. Spooky?
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Her eyes squint as she peers down at you. Well, I've come for her. I don't feel like I'm lost, but who knows? I think I'll start by, am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be.
She considers for a moment, looking down at her own limp body, and her tongue clicks and she shakes her head. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Caldera moves her tongue around in her mouth as if testing it. She gives you a motherly smile. I need to understand something that happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods. Okay.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
She nods again. Where was it I was called a watcher earlier also? Was that down in that dungeon? I believe something suddenly just spoke to me and called me a watcher. I'm not sure what it was. Well, I think that this soul thing and speaking with her is somehow related to all these other people that I can see some soul memories of some kind. Well, let's see what a watcher actually is. What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times.
Hopefully you had better times some time ago.
Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Okay, so this explains these sightings I've been having with a lot of other people. These are actually the memories of the souls, but not the actual physical person. So this is the soul's experiences in another body, in another life, with another person. I guess that's what this means. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, what did you mean when all goes well? A wonder to behold when all goes well. What did you mean by that?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks. So as a watcher, I will have trouble sleeping because of these soul memories I can hear or see?
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Kadnua? And also here I will have to cross this Black Meadow that I've been told so much about. I hear this is a dangerous place, with no protection of any kind. Well, I think I survived the bivouac. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
Caldera appraises you with scholarly interest for a moment before resuming her cheerful demeanor.
Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
So the soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece? So you can shatter the souls? Split them up into more pieces or what? Well, she smiles sadly at the thought. And that's because she changed it from present time to past. Strong souls, we call them. And then she smiles sadly and changes cold to cold, meaning that it's in the past and no longer happening. They're all dead or what? You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No.
Yeah. It's always dangerous when you try to manipulate with the nature's will.
A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
She clicks her tongue. I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
She shakes her head in protest. Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
She breathes a mild sigh, sending a small beetle skittering from inside her cheek. Her arms turn outward stiffly in what might be a curtsy. What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
So she was hanged, as it also looks like. Stupid question is what she's pointing out.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
He seems like a dangerous man, this Lord what's his name? Radic? Well, I've said it so many times now, I've forgotten it. What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
Here again, this change from present to past. I don't know if it's just the obvious thing that she's actually dead, and that's why she puts everything in past tense, or if she's also speaking about something that has ended in general, more than just her life.
But the best of us, the best, inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
Seem quite powerful, these animancers. And she was one as well, as I gathered it.
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Okay. I had other questions?
Of course, dear.
Well, I really don't. I have asked everything. Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldera closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and the surroundings seems to bleed into her vision from some unknown place of waiting. Granted the crucible of the soul. What's that? Aloth looks at you through narrow eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now? Well, if I'm about to travel with him, I think I should just be honest with him right away. I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect that explains how you survived a bivouac. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. My words exactly. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions? He coughs. I should just demonstrate it. Let's continue on. Okay. So I'm a watcher, and I can see people's souls and what they have experienced in the past as I gather it. And now a lot of updates on my quests. Let's just go through them. This one, I thought I finished that one actually. Speak with the innkeeper. I would have. Doesn't look like there's a follow-up on that. Against the grain, yeah, I need to resolve the feud between Trumbull and Swainor. I hope to do that before we end this session today. Buried secrets, that's about searching the temple. I'm not going to do that yet. And this is outside this town, going to Mother Ranga in Ansleg's Compass. And this also, this sends us to the Black Meadow. And then finally this new quest, travel to Cape Nua. That's the old watcher. The spirit of Caldara de Balanci, one of Lord Radric's unfortunate victims, has directed me towards Cape Nua, where I will find a man named Merwold. Caldara has informed me that I've become something known as a watcher, and that this Merwold is a watcher as well. Or was it, as I recall it? Perhaps you can tell me more about what's happening to me. Okay, so everything here is out of the city, except from the two quests, which is the one in the temple, and the feud between Trumbull and Swainor, which I will start with. I don't know where to look for
17 and a half.
this Swainor, but my best bet be at the inn, Blackhound Inn. So I think we should go there. It doesn't seem like I'm gonna get another party member here in this city, so I'm probably gonna have to look at my inventory stuff before the next session, when I expect to go down into the crypt, or the, what's the crypt, or what did they call it? Temple. Go to the temple. Let's see if we can find this Swainor in here. It's not there. Maybe this Pasca can tell me something.
Greetings.
She has nothing new for me. Brethren, Swainor, yes, here they are. Let's go and have a little chat with them.
Gods keep you.
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Well, let's try the gentle approach first. I saw you outside the mill. What was that about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. Okay, so he's the one selling the grain to him, and then he makes extravagant prices when he's selling it forth after preparation. Or that's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. What are you doing in here then? What's it look like? Drinking till I forget how much I want to put a pitchfork through Trumbull's face. Sounds like a good idea. I don't want to buy him around. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Oh, I bet he has. All nobility, that Trumbull. Two big, strong kids, purest soul in all of Gilded Vale. The dwarf sneers. Coward sending out messengers to handle his business. Well, you can go and tell him we haven't had a solid meal in days on account of him, and we can't afford a good drink on account of him, but we won't be bullied by some foreigner on account of him. Oh, should I really buy them a drink? Sounds so sleazy. Well, actually, I can use this because I have a might of 16 or higher. Haul Swainer up out of his chair. If you want to fight with Trumbull, let's make it a fair one. That's probably not what... I don't like doing that. But it was quite aggressive out there, I would have to admit. Yeah, I'll do this one. Haul Swainer up out of his chair. If you want to fight Trumbull, let's make it a fair one. Hey, hold on there. Swainer raises his hands defensively. Eyes big. No need to get nasty. We won't go near the miller. Blazes, we haven't done a thing to him. We're just hungry is all, and looks like that isn't changing. You want to side with that rotten bastard, you go right ahead. You and this whole fucking town. Oh, I did solve my quest, but I'm not sure I won any friends by doing it. Can I speak to him again? They come to gloat. They're not satisfied by me. Satisfied with me. So I need to go to Trumbull and tell him that he will probably not be... What's that? Banded or whatever they call it. Anymore. Let's go to that mill if I can find it. Okay, that was as wrong as it can be. It's over here. Somewhere. Here we go, it seems. Let's see what he has to say. I would expect him to be happy that I've solved this issue. Whether or not I did that right, I don't know. I kind of sided with someone without even knowing if it was the right side.
Welcome.
Trumbull nods a cold greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? I spoke to Swainer. Trumbull takes a deep breath. And? What did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why, that's... Really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. And you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Should I take his money? I actually need it. No, I won't. Keep it. You're having a hard enough time. You're a generous soul friend, and we'll have you to thank for making it through the coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favor with the gods. Okay. So I think we're gonna end this episode here. That was actually 2 episodes in a row without combat, but that is gonna change in the next one. Because what I'm gonna go do now is I'm gonna head down to this smithy. And then I will make sure I understand the way the gear works and weapons work in this game, so I can figure out what to sell, what to keep, what to equip, and perhaps also what to buy. So I can do that next time. So I will do the actual transactions in the next episodes, or so you can see what I'm doing, but I will do all the learning outside of this recording. And that's what I'm going to do before the next session. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's been 2 sessions here, 2 episodes with me walking around the city, speaking to everything and everyone. I like that. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And next time we're going to go back into this temple. And there we know we're going to meet spiders and other ugly, nasty stuff. So I hope you'll come back for that. And until then,